Some waterfalls just do not make sense. We are about to look at a thundering wall of water that hides a massive secret cave right behind it. We will see rivers that freeze into solid 90-meter towers of ice, and one so tall that it makes the tallest skyscraper ever built look tiny. Here are 12 of the most famous, beautiful, and sometimes deadly waterfalls in the world and the insane stories behind them. Starting our journey, we are going to move quickly through 3 spectacular drops that prove you do not need to be the absolute biggest to completely bend reality. We begin with Dettifoss in Iceland. Plunging 60 meters, this perfectly rectangular curtain of water spans 25 meters across. But what makes Dettifoss so bizarre is its location. It falls directly over what used to be an ancient coastal sea cliff. Thousands of years ago, the crushing weight of giant glaciers melted, causing the entire landmass of Iceland to undergo rapid isostatic rebound, rising upward like a sponge. The ocean retreated, leaving this massive waterfall stranded far inland. Because the water flow is so constant and heavy, on almost any sunny day, it generates blindingly bright double rainbows that seem to arch straight out of the earth. Moving from the volcanic shores of Iceland to the steep, terrifying cliffs of Switzerland, we hit Staubach Falls. This natural wonder is an unbelievable 297 meters of sheer, uninterrupted freefall dropping straight down into a lush green valley. But it holds a strange secret. Because the drop is so massive and the water volume is relatively low, the wind catches the river in midair and completely shatters it. The water turns into a drifting mist long before it ever touches the ground, which is exactly why its name translates to the dust waterfall in German. It is so hauntingly beautiful that the famous poet Lord Byron wrote that it looked like the tail of a pale horse ridden by death. Next, we travel to the Pacific Northwest of the United States to find Multnomah Falls. Dropping a total of 189 meters across 2 distinct tiers, this waterfall flows year-round from underground springs. It looks like a peaceful, ancient fairy tale, but its creation was incredibly violent. At the end of the last ice age, a colossal dam of ice collapsed, releasing a catastrophic mega-flood that aggressively ripped through the landscape at speeds of up to 130 kilometers per hour. This apocalyptic wall of water carved out the Columbia River Gorge, leaving smaller streams hanging high up on the cliffs, completely stranded. That waterfall was born from a prehistoric flood, but wait until you hear about the modern-day flood disaster that completely rewrote our next location overnight. Hidden deep within the scorching, isolated desert of Arizona lies Havasu Falls. It is an absolute oasis. The water here is a glowing, vibrant blue-green color, plunging 30 meters into perfectly warm swimming pools. The water gets this magical color from massive amounts of dissolved calcium carbonate, a mineral that actually hardens and builds the walls of the pools over time. But living in a deep desert canyon comes with a massive, terrifying risk. In August of 2008, a sudden, violent monsoon storm hit the region. A catastrophic flash flood sent a massive surge of water and mud ripping through the canyon. In a matter of hours, the flood completely bypassed and obliterated a beloved waterfall upstream called Navajo Falls, burying it forever. But nature is wild and unpredictable. That same flood instantly carved out 2 brand new waterfalls in the canyon wall, which we now know as 50-Foot Falls and Lower Navajo Falls. It is a brutal reminder that these beautiful landscapes can turn deadly in a matter of seconds. From the burning desert of Arizona, we travel back to the freezing winds of Iceland to visit Gullfoss, which translates to the Golden Falls. This is a bizarre 2-step drop. The river drops 11 meters, takes a sharp 90-degree turn, and then violently plunges another 21 meters down into a deep, narrow crack in the earth. But the most amazing story about Gullfoss is not its geology. It is the story of how it almost ceased to exist. In the early 20th century, foreign investors wanted to destroy the waterfall and dam it up to generate electricity. A local woman named Sigridur Thomasdottir fought back with everything she had. She threatened to throw herself directly into the freezing, violent waters of the falls if the construction began. Her fierce, relentless protests worked. The investors backed down, and Gullfoss was saved, making her one of the first environmental heroes in history. Gullfoss was saved by a hero, but our next destination has a split personality, drying up completely in the summer, before freezing into a giant column of ice that is larger than some apartment buildings. Our journey brings us back to the United States to the towering granite walls of Yosemite National Park in California. Yosemite Falls is a true monster, boasting a staggering combined drop of 739 meters, making it the tallest waterfall in North America. But this giant has a very strange, almost moody personality. It is entirely fed by melting snow from the mountains. In May, it is an absolute beast, dumping thousands of gallons of water per second. But because it has no underground springs to feed it, the waterfall simply dies in the late summer, drying up to a bare rock wall by August. In the dead of winter, the mist freezes at the base of the upper drop, building a massive, terrifying cone of solid ice that can reach 91 meters tall. And if you are lucky enough to be there in the spring during a full moon, the light hits the mist just right, creating a rare, glowing nighttime rainbow called a moonbow. By the way, if you are enjoying the video, kindly like and subscribe. Yosemite dried up in the summer, but the next waterfall on our list flows from a place so strange, it feels like a different planet entirely. We will get to the ultimate king of waterfalls soon, but first, let us look at a cascade hiding a massive secret. We travel to the Guizhou province in southwestern China to witness the Huanggoshu waterfall. Standing nearly 78 meters tall and over 100 meters wide, it is a thundering wall of water powered by the intense Asian monsoon rains. But the crazy part of this waterfall is what is hiding directly behind it. When you look at the massive curtain of crashing water, you are actually looking at the front door to a hidden underground world. Tucked directly behind the falling water is a 134-meter-long cavern known as the Water Curtain Cave. Visitors can literally walk inside the cliff, stand behind the roaring waterfall, and look out through natural windows in the rock. Millions of years ago, this river actually flowed completely underground through a dark cave system until the roof of the cavern collapsed, exposing the waterfall to the sky. Next, we head to Croatia, to a place that looks like it was ripped straight out of a fantasy movie. The Plitvice waterfalls are not just one single drop. They are a massive, sprawling network of more than 90 waterfalls connecting 16 crystal-clear emerald lakes. The largest of them all, the Great Waterfall, plunges 78 meters down a sheer cliff. But here is the mind-blowing part about Plitvice. The waterfalls are alive. The water is so packed with minerals that as it bubbles and churns, it constantly leaves behind microscopic layers of rock. The waterfalls are actually building their own travertine barriers, growing outward and upward by 1 to 3 centimeters every single year. Because these structures are incredibly fragile, swimming has been strictly banned to protect the living, growing rocks from being crushed by human feet. We have seen beautiful lakes and hidden caves, but this next destination does not care about beauty. This is about pure, terrifying, earth-shattering power. Welcome to Dettifoss in Iceland. This is widely recognized as the most powerful waterfall in all of Europe. It is 100 meters wide and drops 44 meters into a dark, rocky canyon. But it is the volume of water that will make your stomach drop. On an average day, Dettifoss blasts 193 cubic meters of water over the edge every single second. During peak summer melting, that number can skyrocket to over 500 cubic meters per second. The water is thick, gray, and churning with volcanic sediment ripped from the largest glacier in Europe. The roar is so deafening and the impact is so heavy that if you stand on the rocks near the edge, you can literally feel the ground shaking violently beneath your feet. That roaring torrent is powerful, but the next waterfall on our list is hidden in a jungle so remote it is 4.5 times taller than Niagara Falls, yet pumps out a volume of water that will leave you absolutely breathless. We take a trip deep into the uncharted jungles of Guyana in South America. Kayatur Falls is one of the most isolated and spectacular natural wonders on the planet, plunging a terrifying 226 meters in a single, uninterrupted drop. It is roughly 4.5 times taller than Niagara Falls, but height is only half the story. Kayatur pumps out a massive average flow of 663 cubic meters of water per second. The combination of extreme height and colossal water volume makes it one of the most mechanically powerful single-drop waterfalls on Earth. It pours over an ancient geological formation called the Guiana Shield, a chunk of the Earth's crust that is roughly 2 billion years old, formed long before the first animals ever crawled onto land. Leaving the single drops behind, we enter a mega system of falling water. Straddling the border of Argentina and Brazil, Iguazu Falls is an absolute monster. It stretches for an unbelievable 2,700 meters across the landscape. Depending on the season, the river fractures into as many as 275 distinct, separate waterfalls. The geology here was formed by colossal volcanic eruptions over 130 million years ago that laid down thick layers of basalt rock. The absolute most terrifying section of Iguazu is a massive U-shaped chasm known as the Devil's Throat. Half of the entire river's volume gets sucked into this 80-meter deep canyon, creating a chaotic, deafening explosion of mist that shoots high into the sky. During extreme floods, the water flowing through this system has reached an apocalyptic 45,700 cubic meters per second. But even with all that width and all that volume, there is only one undisputed king of the skies. Angel Falls, located deep in the Gran Sabana region of Venezuela, is the tallest uninterrupted waterfall on the face of the earth. The numbers here are almost impossible to comprehend. Angel Falls plunges an astonishing 979 meters from the top of a massive tabletop mountain called a tepuy. To put that in perspective, the waterfall is roughly 18% taller than the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building ever constructed by humanity. The water free falls for a continuous 807 meters before it even hits the first set of rapids. Because the drop is so absurdly high, the laws of aerodynamics actually take over. The water is falling for so long that the wind and air resistance completely rip the fluid apart. The massive column of water literally vaporizes into a giant cloud of fine mist before it ever reaches the canyon floor, only to reform back into a river at the bottom. The falls were introduced to the modern world through a story of absolute chaos. In 1937, an American gold prospector and pilot named Jimmy Angel attempted a deliberate landing on the soft, marshy top of the mountain in search of gold. The landing attempt went wrong when his monoplane's wheels sank into the thick mud, stripping the landing gear and leaving the aircraft permanently stuck. Forced to abandon the plane, Jimmy Angel and his crew had to hike for 11 grueling days through completely uncharted, deadly jungle just to survive. His legendary survival story captured the attention of the globe, and the ultimate king of waterfalls has carried his name ever since. If you thought these massive natural drops were isolated, you will not believe how far humans will go to live completely cut off from the rest of the world. Click the video on your screen right now to watch the world's most isolated settlements.